Hi, everybody. It's Bob Ewalt, and I just wanted to bring to you something that's been on my mind. I know that there's going to be a lot of people looking for a new job in the new year. They've been frustrated with not being able to find a job in 2024, and they're looking forward to 2025 being the year that they get their dream job. And one of the things that frustrates me when I see people apply to jobs that Intiva has open is their resume stinks. And you've seen this from me on LinkedIn before, but I have some pet peeves about resumes. So I want to give you some of my top tips for um, a new resume for a new year. So here are my top tips, and then I want to walk you through an actual resume that I got, taking it from something that a hiring manager would overlook to something that a hiring manager would be digging into a little bit more. So here are, first of all, my top tips for now. Let me get to another screen so you can actually see the top tips. So here's my top tips for updating your resume, making it be something that is more professional and that a hiring manager will take a second look at. So first of all, learn some tips and tricks in Microsoft Word. Um, and I'm going to show you some of these tips that will help you. Secondly, consistency is paramount. If your headers are different throughout the document and it looks like you've been sloppy in your formatting, a hiring manager is going to be like, I don't want to hire a sloppy person. So be consistent. Formatting your resume is going to highlight the right things. You want the right things to stand out to a hiring manager. So formatting your resume correctly will do that. Uh, fourth tip is to use the high value real estate in the resume to your advantage. So there's certain parts of the resume that are higher value than other parts. I'm going to show you those and what you can do to make those an advantage to you rather than a disadvantage. And then lastly, proofread and copy edit your resume at the end. Have somebody else look it over and proofread it. And not necessarily a spouse or a friend, but somebody who's going to look at it with a critical eye and say, you misspelled this, you didn't put a comma here, you didn't put a period here. So those are the things that you're going to want to take a look at. Those are my top tips. And now I'm going to walk you through a an actual updating of a resume that I got. All right, so this is a resume that I received. I've genericized it, so James Carter isn't really the person's name. I've changed all the company names, et cetera, et cetera. Um, so that we're kind of masking the person here whose resume this actually is. But I wanted to draw your attention to certain things that are wrong, and then we're going to go through the document and actually fix them. All right, so the first thing that I noticed when I open up this resume is it is 5 pages long. Your resume should not be 5 pages long, um, no matter what. Um, and if you're an entry level candidate, your resume should be 1 page long at a maximum. So this person has had 20 years of experience, so we're going to make their resume 2 pages long at a maximum, and we're going to highlight the things that should be highlighted. So first of all, you don't need to put your full address at the top of the resume. You can get rid of that right away. Our job here is to condense things. So I'm going to just condense things down. One thing that I would add to this document is actually a title. Uh, your brand is at the very top of your resume. So this person, I would say, is a systems engineer. Um, that is his brand. So I'm going to make that highlight that at the top. I'm going to make this just slightly smaller than his name, and maybe a little smaller. Next thing is all of the headings need to be consistent. So this one's full caps, this one's not full caps, this one is underlined, that one's not. We see similar things throughout the entire resume. So we're going to need to update all of the headings to be correct. Secondly, the dates need to be consistent both in their formatting and their justification. So formatting, for instance, these dates, this one says July 2023 to February 2024, and then later on we have a dash, and sometimes we have a space and a dash. This date is absolutely incorrect. It should not say present anywhere there. So the dates need to be consistent and justified correctly. So the justification in this document should be right justified at the far end of your document. So the dates should be right justified throughout to create a consistent, appealing look to your resume. The next thing that we're going to correct is each period of employment history or experience history should have your title should be the most prominent thing that's highlighted. So in this case, the title is kind of obscured, right? So he's trying to put, I was a contractor, I worked for Amazon, even though I was working for Tech Source Solutions remotely. I was working for the Amazon distributed security team. You don't need all of that. Most 90% of employers won't care that you worked at Amazon or you worked for Amazon in some capacity. Um, they just want to know that you worked as a systems engineer. All right, so I'm going to get rid of all of that other stuff, and I'm going to create a consistent look for this experience. And then we're going to apply that consistent look to every experience. So I'm going to get rid of contractor. I'm going to get rid of run fast. That was just the application that he supported. I'm going to write justify the date. So the way you do that is there's this little button here, and we're going to make it left justified, center justified, right justified. We're going to put it all the way over here at the very right-hand side. Now there's multiple tabs here. We just want one tab. All right, and then underneath, I'm going to put the name of the company he was actually working for, Tech Source Solutions. And I'm going to make this smaller and not bold. I'm going to make it italics, and I'm going to make it 10 points. All right, so they'll know the company you worked for, but it's not as important as what you did. You were a systems engineer at that company. So I'm going to get rid of this. And then our dates, I'm going to just be consistent throughout the entire document. Just put one dash, no spaces. We're going to write out each of the month names. Now, sometimes somebody will prefer to abbreviate the months to just 3 letters. It's a personal choice of which you do. It doesn't really matter. In this case, I'm gonna write out the month names. All right, so then I'm gonna go through and do the same thing to his other experiences. Just simplify the job titles. If it's something that you had multiple different hats you were wearing, just put one description. Like over here, it says project manager various. I would not say various in here. I would just say project manager. IS&S, service desk manager. IS&S can be interpreted a bunch of different ways. So I would just put service desk manager. So I'm going to go through and update the headers, the dates, justifying and the format, and I'm going to update the formatting for each of the experience sections. Stand by. All right, so I cleaned that up. Another thing that I noticed as I was cleaning it up is this particular piece of experience. It looks like this person was there for 4 years, so it was a longer stint, but they included a lot of extra stuff. Now, this was 6 to 10 years ago, so the experience is not that important. I'm going to delete it just to maintain the consistency of the formatting for our experience. The next thing that I noticed or that I want to point out is anything that's older than 10 years, I would consolidate it into just the title and place and dates and not include any bullet points. Experience that's over 10 years old is stale. It's static. If you're still using some of the things that you learned at those jobs, in your current job, update your current job to include those important things. But if it's something that's over 10 years old, I'm going to include it in a section called older experience. So let me just actually I forgot to update the section headers to be consistent as well. I'm still noticing that these are that are different from each other. So I'm going to correct the formatting for all of the headers, and then I'm going to add a header called older experience. By the way you do that is I'm just going to use the format painter here, and I'm going to apply it there. So it's the same formatting, but now I'm going to have to so I'm going to put experience here in all caps, experience. And then I'm going to copy that one, use the format painter, go all the way down here to education and paste it so that we have the same formatting there. Use the format painter for professional credentials. It didn't copy it. It didn't have the all caps, so I'm going to put just certifications here probably. And then I'm going to copy and paste that. And then our older experience starts here. So I'm going to put that as the header there. So older experience there. And then I'm going to combine these experiences into one line item per experience. So this one would look like document management professional, Nebraska Valley College. And then the dates are over here to the right. So I'm going to do that for the rest of them, and I'll be back in a second. All right, so that's what that looks like once it is all condensed and consolidated. Now we're going to do the same thing to our education section. And quite frankly, I would probably list education and certifications in the same section. I'm going to put that here and certifications, and then one line item per education or certification. And I would just list the certification name or the degree name, the institution that you got it from, and then the date that you received it or the date that you graduated. All right, so for this one, it's going to be Master of Science. I'm on Master of Science in Information Technology. And this is going to be Aurora University. And then over here, we're going to put the date that was graduated, so March 2012. We're going to do the same going down. And actually, I'm going to use the same format as up here for these down here. So I'm going to copy the format, and I'm just going to paste it on here so the format stays the same. And then I'm going to go down and I'm going to include all of the actual degrees that you got. I noticed that he has some coursework study at Nebraska State, but that really didn't result in a degree or a certificate or anything like that. It was just coursework, so I'm going to leave it out. Looks like he has some Nebraska State Guard Reserve, but this looks more like experience and not education, so I'm going to move that up under the older experience here as well. Stand by. I'll be right back after some TV magic. One other thing to note, as I'm updating the certifications here, I would not put any links in your resume other than maybe a link to your LinkedIn. If a hiring manager wants to verify your certifications, that can be a supplementary document that you give them, that you give them your certification number. But in these cases, I would just put the name of the certification, the organization you got it from, and the date over here on the right. Now, in these last two here, it looks like Academy Credentials is the name of the organization, and Databricks Fundamentals is the name of the certification itself. So I would put that in parentheses like that, and like that. And then you can find the organization that that gives these certifications. Like I think this one's Axelos. Axelos. I think this is probably Qualys, right? This is CompTIA. This is ISC, I think. So that kind of thing. So then your education certification, there's the consistent formatting, consistent look. And then all we're left with is getting these last few lines onto the second page. And in this case, it's probably a combination of formatting. So like this here is still different from this here. So this should be changed to Calibri. You want a consistent spacing between each thing, which there isn't right now. It looks like this one's an actual line, and this is actually a not a line, it's a paragraph uh, spacing here. So you want to go to 6 probably on everything. Um, we'll want to kind of update this to let's see here, get it down to just a few bullet points. I would actually list out on CompTIA A plus, Network plus, Security plus, which I think these are all what Security plus, which is what these are referring to, and not list the combination certifications that CompTIA does. Um, so we can get to something that looks a little bit better um, with consistent formatting. I'm gonna delete that. Go to 6-point spacing afterwards here. And then it's just a matter of cutting things down to get everything on the second page. So I'm just going to do a little bit of formatting magic here, make things look consistent, um, and then we'll come right back. All right, last couple things that I'm going to do. So it looks like we still have one line on line on this on the last page. So one last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to play with this here. I'm going to make this so the section headers are going to be 12 point. The experience header is going to be 11 points on everything. Just to make everything consistent, just a tiny bit smaller. 11 points. 11 points. Okay, these are still italicized for whatever reason, so I'm going to get rid of that. Again, finding inconsistencies here even as I'm going through. And then this is 11 points. This needs to go down to 11 points. That needs to go down to 11 points. This is a header, so it's 12 points. That's a header, so it's 12 points. All right, so now we still have one line item on the last page. So at this point it's just deleting something, right, to make it fit on the last page. Let's see here. I'm going to get rid of this here. And then hopefully, yep, we're on 2 pages here. So that's good. All right, the very last step to do is to do a quick proofread and copy edit. So you want to go through and make sure all of your bullet points are in past tense active verb. So supported a SaaS asset management tool, that's good. Although asset management should not be capitalized unless it's part of a name. Reduced reporting effort, collaborated with the distributed security team, that's fine. Conceptualized service improvement goals, developed knowledge management structure, identified and encouraged process discipline opportunities. That's okay, that's a little ambiguous. Championed continuous improvement and knowledge management, that's good. Operational performance of Snowdrop from weekly average. That's not an active verb. So improved operational performance, yep, that would be good. Improved operational performance of Snowdrop from weekly average of 86 to 95%, consistently exceeding goal of 90%. So that's something good. So we improved the language there, but then it went on to the second page because we added a little bit, which is okay. We can work with that. So organized team, improved the implementation, worked with vendor, constructing roadmap toward CMMC2 compliance. Again, that's not a active past tense verb. So constructed roadmap for CMMC2 compliance. Compliance should not be capitalized. It's not a noun. Created the foundations for CSI baselines in Microsoft MECM and Microsoft Endpoint Manager. Microsoft Endpoint Manager is a product name, so it should be capitalized. Successfully manage the implementation of critical secure computing environment, ensuring approval from DISA, which is fine. All right, design and monitor of the process to implement. That's those. So those aren't active verbs, and it doesn't make sense. So designed and monitored the process of implementing asset management. Asset management should not be capitalized unless it is a product name, which I don't think it is. Asset management during, let's see here, during fleet technology refresh. During fleet technology refresh. Something else I'm noticing here from time to time is um, there are line items that have a period at the end and other line items that don't. So just make sure that we're consistently using periods in the right places. Um, and then so on and so forth. So you're going to go through and you're going to edit, read out loud each line item to make sure it sounds right. Um, if you're not doing that and a hiring manager reads it and they're like, what the heck are they trying to say? They might say, oh, this is a sloppy person. I'm just going to move on. All right. So make sure that you're communicating consistently. And then the last, so this is a much better resume than we started with at 5 pages. The last thing is here. Is this profile section is something that you want to alter with each application that you do. You want to look through the job description for the job that you're applying for and put specific things from the job description in your profile that fit your experience and your expertise. Because the profile is, it may be the only thing a hiring manager looks at, and it's definitely going to be the first thing that a hiring manager looks at. So those, you put the things there that you want to pop out to the hiring manager. I hope this video has helped many of you. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to take a look at your resume and give you some feedback, but most of the feedback you're going to get from me is going to be these pieces of feedback here. So I hope this has helped. Have any questions, put them in the comments. I hope you have a great week ahead and a great 2025. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.